fans are singing along with Bryson Stott's walk-up music.
Everybody standing here at Citizens Bank Park. Sanchez to the belt.
Breaking ball, hit in the air, center field.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And Christopher Sanchez, for the first time in the big leagues, has thrown a complete game shutout.
Harper looks at Arcia again as he goes around the second base.
And it's turned into the Bryce Harper game.
The game's tied. Castellanos in the third. Dusty is waving him home. Here's the relay to the plate. There'll be no throw. Phillies leading. Breaking ball blasted. Game is tied. Castellanos for the Phillies. And it's a brand new game. And the Phillies close out the National League East. They are the champions of 2024.
Alrighty, Chase Nation, welcome back to a brand new edition of the Quit Chasin Show. We are a little cheeky, a little irreverent, and always unqualified. We bring you coverage of 162 when you aren't able to. I'm Alex Kruger. That's Danny Gerb. Danny, say hi to the folks.
Hey, everyone. How you doing tonight, Alex?
I am doing fantastic this evening. How are you doing tonight, Danny?
I have a giant migraine.
You have a giant migraine. All right, should I talk a little bit softer for you then? Would that help?
Awesome. I would
All right.
really appreciate that.
I hope that the audience can still hear my subtle banter, and Lord knows this is not going to last long because I'm only human. But I'm sorry to hear that. How is your trash
Why I
pickup
said
situation?
yes. Oh, victory in Philadelphia.
Victory for DC 33. Yeah.
Yeah. They came to agreement today, and there was piles and piles of trash everywhere, and lots of work to done, and they got a nominal pay raise. So not worth it at all.
Nope, not even a little bit, but it is time to get rid of those Parker piles, folks. Let's get rid of those Parker piles as soon as possible.
Whoa. Yeah, it got gross, man.
Oh, I can only imagine, especially with the heat we've been dealing with and the intermittent rain squalls followed by disgusting humid heat. I can't even imagine.
So one of the issues with it was it became, because of the sanitation strike and everyone knew it, it became just like a free-for-all for illegal dumpers.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, so
clean out your house, leave it at 4th and Broadway.
Every construction crumb bum was just dumping everything everywhere. Like, it just became an absolute lawless
How many air
zone
conditioners were just thrown into randomness, and all the things with Freon that you have to pay to dispose of?
There's more furniture on my street than a DuPont mansion at the moment.
Damn, that, as Kim likes to say, is one of our older references.
So yeah.
Well, congratulations, DC 33. I don't know. It's hard to tell who wins in these labor strikes. Usually nobody. That's why it's a compromise. Nobody wins.
It seemed like a battle of contrition, really. And Philly got to pay the price for it. So cool.
Yeah, no, that sounds like it. Fun. I have a question for you, Danny. I don't know if this is I need a ruling worthy or not, but
okay.
Much like
I'm trying to come back for life for you, man. I'm trying.
I know you can. You're a red light guy. You got this. So this past fall, Audrey had one of her school somethings at Cedar Cliff High School.
Oh yes, the great school something.
Yes, I don't know, is a orchestra or choir or Christmas.
Memories were made at the school something of 25.
So many school somethings. It would have been 24 at this point, but I digress.
Okay, all right.
So Karate and I went to the baseball field. We're just messing around. I found one of these baseballs on Cedar Cliff's baseball diamond, and I brought it home with me because,
Okay.
So is that something? If I picked up this baseball in the fall of 2024 and then in the spring of 2025, Cedar Cliff, who owns this baseball, became state champions, is this anything? Or is this just to use baseball?
That's just to use baseball.
Just to use baseball. Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
I had thought so, but I was also pretty sure if it could be something memorable, yeah, why not? But I wasn't fully convinced that it was anything worthwhile.
I mean, that's the beauty about baseball, though, right? You can romanticize it. So that is a ball from the 25 Cedar Cliff State champions.
Well, sort of, because again, I got it in the fall of 24, so it was before the season started. So wouldn't that
or the Leeds-in team that was playing fall ball? Exactly.
Also true. Nobody knows. That's a great point. All right. Is that LaCroix? What flavor you got tonight?
Yeah, it is the lime. It's just lime.
Okay, we're an orange family.
Okay,
we're a big fan of the orange LaCroix. Tangerine, that box gets you sometimes. You think it's orange, and then you get home and you're like, this is a little bit more disappointing than I had sought out for.
Kim is a lime person, so I purchased them for her.
Yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's a good man right there. I appreciate
Well,
that.
I have zero preference, so
Right. I've never been much of a seltzer guy at all. I like Fresca. That's about as
all
close to
right.
seltzer as I can get. Am I boring
You
you?
want
Is this
no, because I will go on a great seltzer thing. There is it is a sleeper, an underrated pick, and you say it to people and they snub your nose at you, and then like 3 months later you see them and like, oh, by the way, I tried these. They're really good. Wegmans, the Wegman brand seltzers are
Wegman brand seltzers?
absolutely.
Ooh, and we are a Wegman loving family in this household. Any chance we get for posh shopping, we're gonna do it. Damn it!
They often do the 3 for whatever deals. I say this to people, "This is the best seltzer on the market," and I get like, okay, buddy." They give me
I'm a
the
big fan of store brand stuff, man. Like Target's Up and Up brands. Like when you're a young parent and you have to get the Target Up and Up brand stuff, it is the best on the market. You can keep your Huggies. I'm getting the Up and Up diapers every time.
we may never know again. But
Oh, shit, that's right.
but yeah, the Wegmans ones, try them. You'll sing their praises as well. I know this because I was guilty of it. I was in a law firm, and the attorney brought out a whole bunch of Wegman seltzers, and everyone at the table kind of was like, and he was like, no, they're the best ones on the market. And I was like, all right, I'll bite. And I like cracked one open. I was like, dude ain't lying. So I started buying them, and now I say it, and people do the same reaction. And then I see him at a party like 3 months later, and guess who's on board now?
So, listeners and
Highly
viewers at
recommend.
home, if you hear Danny's recommendation and you go out and you get a Wegmans seltzer and you let us know what you think of it, we will give you a direct shout out on the show and we will tell people what you thought of that. So, engage with us on Facebook or on our email. We'd love to hear your feedback about Wegmans seltzer. Love it, hate it. Haha, secret episode.
My buddy Dave tried the Wegman seltzer. He says they were butt. It'll be a
Oh.
good show.
It
No,
would be. I'd be here for it. You know what?
Yeah.
If it brings up engagement, I'm down. Speaking of which, terrible segue, but Danny, you want to talk about the week that was?
It was up and down. I thought it was perfect. Yeah, let's do it.
I love it. First off, we have the dreaded Cincinnati Redids. Cincinnati 9, Philadelphia 6. The July 4th game. Phils come in and lay an absolutely epic stink bomb to the Cincinnati Redcoats. Luzardo and Ross combined to allow 8 earned runs, and even with a first inning Casty home run, it just wasn't enough. Lots of dudes left on base, plenty of opportunities to win. Honestly, the Phils just weren't interested in it at all. Do you remember this game and just how frustrating it was on July 4th to watch this pitiful excuse of a baseball game?
Yes.
It was tough. And one thing I have really enjoyed doing lately, Danny, is when I know it's going to be a crap game, I actually listen to it because when I don't have to watch the ineptitude, it's a lot better to stomach. And again, Fransky is always a delightful opportunity. We'll get to the San Francisco series, but who's choosing Fransky and Stoddard over T-Mac in LA? T-Mac and Ruben? This guy is. Which brings us to our go ahead.
Soccer. I do like soccer.
I do
grew
like
on me.
soccer. I used to refer to him as not LA, but the rapport and the give and take that they have is up there with T-Mac and Kruk. I'm not saying Stockard is Kruk. Please let me be known. But the rapport and the back and forth is exceptionally entertaining radio.
I love when Scott just shoots him down. Like, you get this big-winded soccer thing, and Francie's just like, yeah, Stock to the plate.
I love when Fransky does make Stockard look like a little bit of an idiot.
Yeah.
It was great. During today's game, I think like 7th inning, they were talking and like Stockard's just grilling Fransky about growing up in Texas and like do you own cowboy boots? Like, of course I own cowboy boots, but like they're not cowboy boots, they're just boots because I'm not a cowboy. It was the most delightful conversation. I didn't know Fransky was from Texas. I never would have guessed that with his Blues Clues face, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah.
Good call. He does have a blues.
He does have a bit of a Steve face, doesn't he?
Yeah, he absolutely does.
That brings us to our second game. Cincinnati 1, Philadelphia 5. Ranger Danger had yet another quality start. And we got 3 homers totaling 5 runs to get the win. Dude, Sosa's on a scorcher again right now, and it's always so weird when Bohm hits a home run. But to me, the interesting storyline was pulling Ranger in the 5th inning at 80 pitches. He was laboring through these innings, and he has injury history. And honestly, I crucify the man enough, so I'll give him his flowers when he deserves it. But I like this move by Rob to have a premeditated pitch count and to stick to it. What did you think of that, Dan?
We're starting to get to the time of year. It worked out for him. I thought it was interesting. I didn't listen to see what the explanation was.
It was he's been putting in a lot of work and a lot of hours and a lot of pitches, and just it was one of those games they decided, nope, we're capping him at 80. No matter what, once we get to 80, he's done. He's out, no matter what's happening. So I respected that, and I think with Rangers' durability issues and how much we need him either at the beginning or the end, who the hell knows when he's going to be. I mean, maybe he's our Madison Bumgarner, and he's kind of a little bit of both. But like, yeah, we got to keep him from getting hurt, and like we just got to get to the damned All-Star break without any additional injuries, and things will be good.
Yeah, I was fine with it. This pitching staff, they do a great job of managing the staff. These coaches do a great job of managing the staff. Now, whatever you want to think about Topper's in-game bullpen management, that's completely different. But
fair.
Yeah. But aside from the annual Ranger back thing and what was it, 23, where Kimbrel hit a wall, they do a pretty good job of managing these guys. So I'm fine with it.
I agree. Yeah. And that brings us to our finale of this series. Cincinnati 1, Philadelphia 3. Holy shit game from Zach Wheeler. The only ball hit into play was a fluke home run by a known homophobe, but Wheeler was electric. He got his first complete game since 2021 and walked no one. Sidebar, does the fact that he hasn't had a complete game since 2021 help explain his lack of moments as a legendary Phillies pitcher, or like the reason why he is so often kind of kept out of that conversation? Is it because he doesn't complete games? I thought that was a fascinating stat. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, I always thought the Wheeler moment thing was a weird argument anyways. Like, what's he gonna do? If it's a long postseason run, it's multiple starts a series, at least 2 for the longer series. So like, what moments do you need other than he's been absolutely dominant? Like, that's the moment. I think the moment is just the pure dominance.
I agree. Like, it's the people that say you need rings to get into the hall that need moments to solidify greatness in a career. And that's horseshit. I think consistency is the best version of greatness. Consistency and durability are the best, greatest moment you can have.
Just even as the position itself, what moments do they lend to? Perfect games, no-nos, complete game shutouts. That's really about it.
Multiple, like 18 strikeout games type things.
Yeah,
like
15
strikeout game, which I mean, he got 11. That's
murdering
not
a bird with a fastball. But other than that, like, he's never gonna, he's never gonna have the bottom of the 8th inning to, give you the 2-run shot to send them to the World Series. Like, the nature of the position, what are you looking for?
And maybe
that's
also
what I'm looking for.
I think it's so. Well, right.
One every 7 Wheeler starts that drive me up a wall.
Like, all right, so knock on wood, and I can't believe I'm voicing this out loud-ish, but like, I don't remember when the last one of those was. Like, knock on wood, but I don't remember when the last Wheeler start was. Maybe it was cold weather, but
no, it was
in the sun.
That doubleheader. What was 2 weeks ago?
Was that only 2 weeks ago?
A few
weeks ago. That had to have been pre-June, man, because his June ERA was legendary. It was sub 1. So there's no way he got knocked around in June. It had to have been in May, and if that's the case, baseball's still just kind of warming up. It doesn't really count until Memorial Day.
I think it was May. I'm gonna have to look it up.
You are.
I'm blanking on the series.
I know, and that's okay. But I do find it interesting that Wheeler has always been someone that, from my recollection, tended to melt when it was a really hot day. And like, if it was 96 plus, he would really labor through that day. And that's usually when he was getting tattooed. And it's been a hot ass summer. We've played some really hot games, and he has still been dominant. the thing I love the most is this little 1-2 punch that he and Ranger have created with themselves of just chasing each other to be dominant. What you got, Danny?
May 29th. It was the
May
Braves
29th.
series. It was May 29th.
That's right. Okay.
Wow, man. June flew.
Dude, you're telling me. Yes, June flew like a mother. It flew so much we missed an episode in there. So yeah, it's been some time. But yeah, that's how dominant Wheeler's been for a month and a half now, which again, tell me I'm wrong, but haven't we lamented in the past about hot day Wheeler? And like he just doesn't have it when it's too hot and too humid.
If we have, I don't remember, but that sounds like us, so sure.
All right, cool. So that gets us through the Cincinnati series, or as I like to call it, Cassie's Revenge. We get out of there 2-1 on the series. So thank you. Let's move out to the Bay Area. Danny,
do we have to?
We don't. How to speak San Franciscan vagina. Anyway, so the first game of the series, it was a beer joke. Philadelphia
I know.
Philadelphia 1, San Francisco 3. Oh, good. Oracle Park, a thing of brick, coke, and cove-fueled nightmares. I hate the San Francisco Giants. I hate the stadium when the Phillies play in it. I hate the memory of Hunter Pence. We say we follow 162, so you don't have to, and I firmly believe that. But I'm taking a pass on watching the 9:45 games this week. I don't need to stay up until 1 o'clock watching the Phils lose in ridiculous fashion, which, by the way, Phil Cuzzy is a dog shit ump who handed the game to the Giants. So yeah, our guys couldn't hit, but it's hard to approach an at bat with an improper strike zone. Bring on the ABS.
It was 20 pitches in that game, both sides, but
I don't care. If you don't know what kind of a strike zone you're walking up to, you can't pitch correctly. Honestly, you can't bat correctly either. Like I hate bad umpiring. I'm so over it. We have the technology. Bring up the ABS. Did you watch that whole game, Dan? How many times am I going to call you Dan instead of Danny tonight, by the way? That's the third time I've done it.
I didn't. It's one of those things. I think we talked about this last year that like you get to a certain point in the game and then you call them and then just check the highlights for the second half of the game. Yep. Like that's how I did it. And
it works. It works.
That's how I did last night, and I'm glad I did it that way last night.
Let's get there. Last night, Philadelphia 3, San Francisco 4. If the night before pissed you off, this one left you numb. Schwarber one-handed a nuclear rocket into McCovey's Cove. Side note, McCovey's Cove is so much cooler than the Three Rivers. I said what I said. I hate San Fran, but their ballpark blows PNC Park out of the water, and anyone who disagrees is just lying to themselves. Anyways, Romano let 2 base runners on in the 9th, and then a non-playable character, or NPC, hit a walk-off inside the park home run. I've never been so happy to fall asleep at 10 p.m. in my entire life.
One of the best parks I've ever been to.
That thing, I don't care what you say about Three Rivers Stadium. If you can't hit a ball into the river while folks are paddling on it, like it is inferior. I hate admitting it, but
they do have some river shots in PNC.
They do, but like those are Bonds home runs, so, but like the McCovey Covers, those are special. Those are cool. And thanks to 2010 to 2014, we had tons of those postseason McCovey moments. So like, I don't know. I hate the Giants. I hate it when we're in that ballpark, but I don't hate watching games in that ballpark. If that makes sense.
After today's win, 4-19 since 2019. That's insane.
You got to wonder what it is about that. Like, that's the weirdest split because it's not as bad with San Diego. It's definitely not as bad with LA. So what is it about the Bay Area that gets our boys all turned up?
That's those liberal lefties, probably.
Probably, that's true. A lot of YMCA walk-up music this week, for sure. For sure. You know what? I got to give some credit to John Foley. I know that you are not the biggest fan of him, but...
Oh, I don't not like him. Okay. I just don't like him.
That
makes any sense.
It does.
Like, I don't have anything against him. I'm just also not a
You're
follower.
Not pro, you're not negative. You're just ambivalent. You're just whatever. So he made the point of pointing out YMCA. And he really didn't make it a thing until the replies and the mentions made it a thing. And like, he was awesome. He stood his ground. He defended his stance. Like, and you could tell that he's kind of an ally of the anti-MAGA movement, I believe. So I really appreciated it.
What was he saying? What
just
was he
like,
saying?
it's interesting that Harper's continues the patriotic song choices on July 4th with YMCA in the late innings. And folks immediately obviously associated YMCA with the alleged commander-in-chief that is currently in charge of America.
Well, he was
And
using it on the campaign trail.
obviously, yes. And Harper is a cloak and dagger conservative. Obviously. I think anyone that disagrees with that is
I would assume
silly.
he would be too. I don't know what his views
I
are,
would think
but
a lot of athletic millionaires
I think
do
a lot
tend to
of
be conservative.
I think
because
most of baseball is. That's why they got rid of the Players Weekend.
absolutely. And that's why they got rid of a lot of pride stuff. Yeah. So John Foley kind of like stood his ground. I just got to give the dude flowers. Like he had no reason to, but mad props. But that brings us into the finale of this series, Danny, which happened today. After losing the first 2 games out in San Francisco, we were finally blessed with a 3:45 start time, and nothing could be better than that. There is nothing worse, however, than seeing a once promising and legendary ball player shrink to a shell of their former self. But honestly, that's Justin Verlander these days. Remember when Homer was working as a stand-in for Krusty the Clown? And as he beat the Krusty burglar, a kid weepingly said, "He's already dead." That's what it feels like watching Verlander come out every single time. On to the Phil side of things, Harper had 4 extra base hits in this one, including a solo shot. So, poll question I'll forget to put up later this week: is Harper now going to have a 180 batting average the rest of the month, or is it finally Harper time? What do you think?
I think we should make it a poll because I don't know. I was
I don't
texting this
either.
friend of the show, Steve. He's getting a Picky Game Time shirt. Yeah.
All right, Steve, way to represent, way to show. Love that.
That's why I told him he could pick one out. That's the one he picked.
That's perfect.
I'm into it, but he was asking me, and my take was, I don't know, either like straighten up and fly right, or go on an IL until you straighten up and fly right, like one or the other. But he had that knock today. That's good to see. Just as long as he's a timing guy. We talk about it all the time.
Yes. Yes. And that's he giveth and he taketh away. He is his ceiling is much higher than Casty's. His floor is much higher than Casty's, but they're kind of the same player in their timing and rhythm guys.
Right. I don't think we are going to get those 30 home run seasons anymore from him, but he still could be that doubles machine that we know and love. So I'm fine.
And like
with
that catalyst, that if he's on the base paths, he's dangerous. And he's the guy that you always have to think about. I really liked what I saw from Harper today and his approaches at the plate. I thought this was the most comfortable he's looked at the plate since coming back from injury. Oh God, I really don't want to talk myself into this, but like I do think maybe it is kind of Harper time for 3 more games before the All-Star break. But that's the funny thing. He's going to get his timing back and then sit down for 7 days, and it's all going to go to hell again.
Yeah,
I love it.
We'll see what they do in San Diego, where they don't play the Giants well. They typically play the Padres well. So
they typically do, especially since that stupid song came out. And I always forget that song, but it is the cheesiest, corniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Love the San Diego guys for committing to the bit, even though they look absolutely ridiculous.
What was it? That's what's up. That's what's in. That's what's
in. Something stupid like that. Yeah. We should find that video and post it on our Facebook and see if that drives content.
I'm sure it goes around.
I'm sure it does. It's our turn to spread it then. But yeah, I'm excited. We got 3 games left. You will hear all about that next week. But Danny,
that's what's in. No, I have a quick media stables.
Thank God. Go on. Congratulations, Jack Fritz, on beating Joe today. Is that your media stables? He did 0 for 8, 5 Ks. Dude,
all right.
The last strikeout, he had Joe right. He was climbing the ladder to get that strike. It was a thing of beauty. It was. Jack's last pitch was phenomenal.
Did you watch it or listen to it?
Neither. I saw clips on Twitter, and that's when I found out he won, got the stat line, and saw the last pitch. That's all I got because I was working today. I was doing grown up stuff.
No, quick media stables, and again, it's going to tie into our love it and hate it. Actually, I have 2 things. This weekend is a big weekend for rock and roll.
Oh, Hall of Fame.
Friend of the show, Steve Blank Chrome and Dollar Eater are at the Century on Saturday night, and Saturn Rose will be in support of 40 Watts Sun at Johnny Brenda's on Sunday. Tickets are still available if you are in the city and want to see some, doom metal. I would recommend it.
I understood
and
in that sentence.
Yeah, well, if you know, you know.
If you know,
And
you know. I don't know.
last night on the Hall of Fame Club podcast, they had John DeRosso, I believe his name was, from Homers for Hope. Great charity. We have links on our page. Broken Bell has links on their page. Philly Podcast has links on their page. Help support families. That's why baseball is so romantic. Do that.
I love it.
That's all
Danny,
I got.
that brings us, well, let's think about it, all right? That brings us one series away from the All-Star break. We're sitting at 17 days away from our 999 challenge.
That's right.
And I just got to know, Danny, love it or hate it, crossover episodes.
Wow, they're just absolutely annoying, right? Like,
oh, you hate crossover. You would hate crossover episodes. I freaking knew. I knew you would be anti-crossover episode. Make your case.
They go against canon most of the time. It's out of the universe. Mostly the canon disruptions that I don't like. The Simpsons Family Guy one, like they were so out of character amongst each other. Just stuff like that. I don't like the continuity of them.
Of course you don't. You old man yelling at clouds.
That's right.
So let me ask you this. Is it a crossover episode if only one entity crosses over with the other, or does there have to be a mutual cross back for it to count?
I think
So I asked this because tonight on July 9th, 2025 is the season premiere of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But wait, tonight's episode is actually It's Always Sunny in Abbott Elementary, because this is the second half of the crossover episode that happened with Abbott Elementary this past season. So we are now getting the reciprocal crossover. For you, does it only count? For me, there has to be reciprocity. So in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, okay, when Salem on TGIF was in Boy Meets World and he was in Third Rock from the Sun, like that was continuity. That was a great crossover event. If you know what I'm talking about, go take your medicine. Your back probably hurts. But I think for a proper crossover episode, there has to be that reciprocity on the same timeline. And does that work with your canon, or does that still screw it up?
No, that's fine. I remember that. It was fine. I remember it even being fun. So look at that.
It was a good time, man. When we were young, dumb, and fat and happy in the 90s with Saxophone Jesus playing, life was good. Good.
So you liked them?
Yeah. Oh, I love a good crossover, man.
Okay.
I love bringing worlds together, bringing characters together to see how they would mutually interact.
So does Power Man 5000. So
who's Power Man 5000?
They collided worlds.
Oh, okay. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was
bingo. But like I'm a comic guy. Comics are all about the multiverse. It was an old one. They're all about, changing things up. Like I love a good crossover episode because I'm full of happiness, hope, and life. And that's just how I roll. But Danny, the reason, go ahead.
I was going to make this even bittier.
Oh boy, I love it.
Let's take it one step further, Alex. What are your thoughts then on episodes that abruptly stop and tell you to go on to another show to finish? What are your thoughts on those?
Absolutely hate it. If I am listening or watching one show, why do I have to go to another show to finish out? I just want all of my content in one nice, cute, little, neatly wrapped package, that I can just seamlessly live my life and not have to switch things over. How about you? Do you love it or hate it, Danny?
Well, good for us that I love it. And Alex, let them know why I love it.
I think Danny loves it because, folks, if you want to hear the rest of the content, that's right, the rest of Danny and I farting around having fun, what you need to do is hop on over to the Northeast Philly podcast, where tonight we are joining their hosts and we are going to be completing a comedy movie draft. That's right, our top 5 comedy, not even our top 5, but if you had to draft 5 movies that were of the comedy nature, what would they be and in what order? I'm very excited for this. How about you, Dano?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like one of our middle sections, so why not just do it with them? We're going to have the links in the description, all that other kind of stuff. It's the Broken Bell Network. Check us out over there.
Absolutely. I think that's going to do it for us this week then, Dan. We got to go prep and get ready for that show, yeah?
Absolutely. We'll see you guys over there. And I guess we'll end it this way. Right?
Traditional? No
yeah.
traditional?
We'll see you over there.
All right, we'll see you over there.
We'll
As
see you.
everyone knows.
No,
Okay.
it's sound. I don't know how to get off.
It's
without
real
doing
tight.
it.
It's real tough. We need some sort of.
Oh no! Wait, it's comedy movie draft. I know how to do this. Go fuck
Okay.
yourself, San Diego.